easier now.
This is a long road to where we are today. We're finally here. We're excited to be open. But you know, we have to remember all the work that was done, everything from the initial planning years ago to the construction work that has occurred to the ultimate staffing of the fire station itself. We're so very fortunate, again, to have the support of the community, the support of the Board of Supervisors, support of county administration and other staff to have this come to fruition.
This is the place to be.
Citizens interact with them routinely, and we know that they're part of our community. We know their service is dedicated to us, and so this is a show of support for that. And it's it's pretty exciting in York County. We don't get new buildings all that often here, so this is great.
They built the station to be able to expand the department. It has extra office space that will be used at some point. More bunk rooms, bigger kitchen, more table space, more chairs, places to study. So it's going to be around for a long time.
Not only does it take care of the immediate needs, but what it's going to do is in the future, as our county continues to grow, we're going to be able to provide expanded service without having to go out and then as prices of material and building material and land become an issue, we won't have to run out and just immediately start buying another fire station. What we have here is an expandable capability that will last us for decades.
We've been looking forward to it for a long time. It's definitely an upgrade from what we had. It's a whole lot bigger.
We have the stair steppers.
It's the epitome of a modern day fire station that allows our folks to have a facility whereby they can operate at their home away from home, if you will, 24 hours a day. Good afternoon. Members of the Board of Supervisors, constitutional officers, school board members, our state and federal representatives, as well as county staff, guests, businesses, neighbors, and citizens. I'm Steve Kopczynski, Fire Chief for York County, and it is my privilege to be your host today as we formally dedicate this wonderful new fire station. Now, if everyone would please stand as you're able for the presentation of the colors by the York County Department of Fire and Life Safety Honor Guard, and remain standing for the national anthem played by the Grafton High School Band. Before I begin with a formal program, on behalf of our entire department and the county, I want to express our sympathies for the tremendous loss of 3 Tab High School students this past Saturday evening. Such a loss is so difficult for so many and our entire community. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families, and friends, as well as all involved with the response. In fact, many of those response personnel are in attendance today. So I ask, for those that were lost, their families, and friends, please pause for a moment of silence. Thank you. I'm now pleased to introduce one of the station's immediate neighbors, and that is Senior Pastor David Price, who will deliver the invocation.
Firefighters have answered the call to be strong and courageous. Bless them and let them be reminded that they do not need to be afraid or discouraged, for you are with them to the very end. Allow them to feel your presence until the very last amber is cooled. Lord, bless this station and bless every man and every woman who would have the privilege to serve in her. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor Price. As I continue today's ceremony, this ceremony culminates many years of anticipation and need for the replacement of Fire Station 1. But while your fire and rescue personnel are now operating out of this much-needed new facility, we cannot forget the importance of fire and rescue to our citizens, businesses, and visitors, and what was recognized as a need over 65 years ago by a group of community-minded citizens who first established what has now become the York County Department of Fire and Life Safety. With the county's first ambulance services being operated out of Amory Funeral Home, once fire department operations were formed, the department moved to space in a small addition that was provided by what was then known as Grafton Garage. Eventually, through much effort and planning, a new fire station was built at the 5751 Route 17 location, and it became operational in 1960. For almost 60 years, the primary fire and rescue responses to Grafton, Dare, and surrounding communities have come from that facility. Before the construction of the TAB fire station in 1973, as well as the Yorktown and Seaford fire stations in the early 1990s, Fire Station 1 in Grafton responded to the entire southeastern portion of the county. Our department and community continues to be most grateful for the forward-thinking and commitment of those dedicated citizens in the 1950s. As you tour the fire station today, you will notice that we continue to remember their contribution, as well as that of many others who have served from Fire Station 1 over the years and have provided protection to our community. Now, many decades later, the personnel that are assigned to Fire Station 1 will benefit from a modern new facility, one that will provide improved crew living quarters, better academic, practical, and physical fitness training areas, more efficient means of accessing emergency apparatus by responding crews, all from an environmentally efficient building that has been designed in accordance with LEED Green Building standards. As I conclude my remarks, I want to thank our county project staff, including Primary Engineer and Public Works Deputy Director Joe Sisler, Fire and Life Safety Project Liaison Deputy Chief Chris Sadler, our architectural firm RRMM and their staff, Matt Astron, as well as Brian Wolf, Oyster Point Construction, particularly Company President Doug Amthor and Superintendent Roger Harshberger, our County Administrator Neil Morgan, who recognized this need early in his tenure with the county, as well as our Board of Supervisors, who have always been staunch supporters of public safety needs and ensured that this project came to fruition. And finally, to the citizens, the businesses, and the visitors that have been so very supportive of this project and have been watching its construction process for many months, and who will be served by some of the finest, dedicated, and well-trained fire and rescue personnel that you'll find anywhere. This facility and the assigned personnel will ensure effective fire and rescue operations to its primary response areas, as well as surrounding fire station districts now and for many years to come into the future. I'm proud to be fire chief for this organization, to serve such a fine community, and to work with so many wonderful professionals. So I say thanks so much, and may the personnel who operate out of this facility always remain safe while you provide protection to those that we care for each and every day. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our County Administrator, Neil Morgan, to make a few remarks.
Thank you, Chief. Good afternoon, everyone. One of the challenges we face in York County is that our public facilities are aging faster than we're renovating them and replacing them. With the Board of Supervisors' support, that's been a challenge that we've undertaken to rectify. The opening of this fire station is a symbol of starting to work on that issue, and there's more to come in the future. So for that, I think all of the staff is very excited to see this tangible example of new infrastructure in the county. The Board of Supervisors has a strategic priority list, and near the top of that list is public safety. And one of the things that really makes us feel good about the county as a community and the county as an organization is that is a long-term perspective. A lot of local governments focus on the short term and miss the long term. And it's investing in facilities like this that makes this community different than so many others. And so I appreciate the board's continued focus on what the long-term needs of the county must be. The chief mentioned some of the individuals who worked on this, and I won't repeat that other than to say that making this a successful project probably really took a decade, going back to a site selection process, and then scoping the project, and then selecting an architect, and then selecting a contractor, and all of the work of the departments. Obviously, Public Works and Fire and Life Safety were in the lead, but there's hardly any function of county government that did not support the successful completion of this project, and I want to thank you all. It's an exciting day to see this facility open, and with that, I'd like to ask Chairman of the Board, Tom Shepard, to come up and share his views on this exciting day.
Great, awesome. Neil, thank you very much, and it's a real pleasure to see so many folks show up for this grand opening, if you will. It's a pleasure, and did the alarm go off? Oh. The new fire station is a result of a lot of hard work, and I mean, you know, most of the time you drive by a fire station, you drive by a government building, yeah, it's there, you know, it's doing its job, blah, 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 you know. You think about this, we had to get the land, the concrete you're sitting on, the chairs you're in, the building had to be designed, it all had to be created. The money had to be set aside for this years in advance, $7.5 million. $7.5 million. And that takes planning, it takes dedication, foresight, anyway, hard work, a lot of hard work. And it involved the county administration, if you heard, Fire and Life Safety, Public Works, and of course, the citizens of York County who actually, hey, paid the bill. Here before us stands an example of excellent financial planning and investment in our infrastructure. And it is a project that I am very proud of to see it in existence. Having a professional and highly trained fire department is number one safety of our residents and our visitors. And I want to foot stomp that just briefly. I looked at a map the other day about the fire departments and specifically the life support and the rescue for the ambulances and whatnot, and across the United States. very few are professional firefighters. I was stunned by how many, very few. But you look at the state of Virginia, you know, that's where the emphasis is on the professional firefighting force, although we have a lot of volunteers. And volunteers are great, but they're volunteers and they have other parts of their lives to do. Your county, we're very, very proud of our professional firefighters, the hard work they do, the dedication, and it's just it's a joy to have this here, and the citizens should be really, really proud of that. For many years, my fellow board members and I have made public safety number one of our top priorities. The Board of Supervisors work closely with the county administrator to ensure that we have appropriate funding and a solid plan in place to support and, as needed, to expand the service. And looking at the size of this, if fire trucks get to be double-story driving down the road, I guess you could put them in here because that's the highest ceiling I've seen in a fire department in a long time. Public safety, that includes 911, fire and rescue, and law enforcement. It is a critical element in making this such a great community. I, along with my fellow board members, am privileged to hear from our neighbors as they share their appreciation for the quality assistance they received during desperate moments of their lives. And when I first got on the board, and that was something I know Sheila and Walt had been there long before in receiving this, we would get these letters about, you know, how you saved my husband who was laying on the floor dying of a heart attack, how you helped us when our house was on fire. We just got letter after letter after letter, and it was just heartwarming to get that information. Now, one of the things in reference to the young lives that were lost the other day, we're very, very and deeply saddened. And we know that is a parent's worst nightmare. Worst nightmare. But one of the things I thought about when I saw the honor guard come up and I looked at the face of the firefighters, you know, they respond to these accidents. They respond to all types of accidents. And they get there and they have the face of a firefighter. They go into the mode where they're going to do what they've got to do to save people's lives. But you know, a lot of times we talk about PSD and all that kind of stuff and PTSD or whatever it's called, I'll get it right here eventually, about what happens in combat. You know, these firefighters see things that you cannot get out of your mind. Once you step away and you become a parent, you become a family member again, you're part of your society, you're normal, but you're not, because you will always have this image in your mind. And I know it's a tremendous sacrifice, but we greatly appreciate that service. Greatly appreciate the service. The stories and letters that reaffirm to us that investing in fire and life safety employs training and updated equipment, and the state of the art facilities like this one is money well spent. As you tour the station, please notice some of the special features that were on the fire chief's must-have list. The modern bay doors that open faster, allowing us to meet and even reduce the 5-minute response time that set the standard for our firefighters. Improved training areas for staff to maintain skills necessary to perform their duties. A larger bay with enough space to house multiple pieces of apparatus. I think that's what they call this, trucks, right? Apparatus, the truck out there, what is that, $1.5 million sitting out there? Some apparatus, right? Even the layout of the building allows for easier access to the engine medics units when the tone alert, and you'll get to hear that today, responds to an emergency. I could go on, but I'll let the station personnel point out some of these improvements as you tour the facility in just a few minutes. Again, thank you for joining us today. This station sits in York County's District 4. So it's a pleasure for me to welcome District 4 Supervisor Jeff Wasmer.
Welcome to your neighborhood fire department in the 4th District. We are proud of this facility and we appreciate you being here. This day, especially this day, we honor hands. We honor the hands that have planned this facility. We honor those who have designed it. We honor those who have built this facility. And certainly today we honor those that will serve. It's a shining star here in the 4th District. It certainly is our neighborhood fire department. It's a shining star and we're proud of it. You know, one of the things that our fire and life safety pride themselves is responding to calls within 5 minutes. That's remarkable, 5 minutes from the call. And so this facility is essential, be able to continue that response and to serve the citizens of York County like we're fortunate to have. And so this is your neighborhood fire department. Treat it as that. As you go by, if you have questions, if your kids want to stop by, come on in, knock on the door, talk to our fire and life safety personnel, and find out about your neighborhood fire department. We have the best people. As Tom said, I believe that when we do surveys of the county, our fire and life safety personnel are always rated towards the top. Our county has great respect for each and every one of them. And so to those, the best people, we add a great facility. People will always be above the facility, but we honor those hands that serve today and this facility. Those hands that serve our community, they're the hands that are the first responders to situations. They're the hands that keep each of us safe. They're the hands that respond in time of need. They're the hands that Saturday responded to a call on Yorktown Road. They were the hands that went to stabilize, to respond, to restore, and to revive. They quickly became the hands that offered comfort and compassion. They were the hands that went around a child's shoulder who had just lost a classmate. They were the hands that embraced a parent that just got the unthinkable news. This day, especially this day, we honor your hands that serve this community. We're grateful for the hands that serve. Might the 67,000 other sets of hands in York County join with yours in unity, in healing our community, as we always do. May we join hands pointing upward to ask for a higher power to heal and to protect each and every one of you. Chief, to you, to the men and women of fire and life safety, to our first responders who include our police and sheriff and even our 911 operators, thank you for being the hands that serve. Thank you for being the hands that protect and heal our community. God bless each and every one of you and your families as you serve us. And might we each join with your hands this day, especially this day.
Mr. Morgan, Mr. Shepard, Mr. Wassmer, thank you so very much for those encouraging words and comforting words. At this point, the Honor Guard will deploy the hose. Today, we will, instead of conducting a ribbon cutting, we will conduct a hose uncoupling ceremony. This is a tradition that we find in the fire and rescue service often, where we uncouple the hose, signifying the opening of a fire station. I'd like to ask those that have been designated to participate in the hose uncoupling ceremony to come forward.
in all stations, units, and personnel, York County Fire Station 1 is now fully operational at 118 Dare Road. May its personnel forever be safe and serve our county with pride at 1634.